Have you ever wondered what the most common causes of death are for seniors? It's not a topic anyone enjoys discussing, but facing it head-on can truly make a difference. When we understand what puts us most at risk, we empower ourselves to make informed choices, take meaningful action, and sometimes even change the course of our later years. This video is more than just a list of medical facts or statistics. It's about clarity, confidence, and taking control of your well-being, one step at a time. In this video, we're going to explore the 5 leading causes of death in older adults, based on recent findings. But rather than simply listing them, we'll dive deeper into how these conditions unfold, what the warning signs might look like, and the steps we can take to protect ourselves from silent killers like heart disease or the slow, creeping challenges of cognitive decline. Each of these causes affects real lives, including examples you may recognize from your own experience. Stay with us until the end, because each point we cover will help paint a fuller picture of what aging really looks like and how it doesn't have to mean losing your strength, your independence, or your peace of mind. So if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time to do it. Tap the bell to ensure you don't miss out on valuable content like this. And remember, knowledge is a form of self-care, and sometimes it's the most powerful kind of care we can offer ourselves. Let's begin. Number 1. Heart disease and cardiovascular complications. Among all the causes of death in older adults, heart disease remains the most common, and by far the most silently dangerous. It doesn't always announce itself with the dramatic warning signs we might expect, like sudden chest pain or a heart attack. In fact, heart disease often develops quietly over time, hiding behind everyday fatigue, shortness of breath, or the assumption that aging just means feeling worn out. But make no mistake, conditions like clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and poor circulation are not just symptoms of getting older, they are urgent signals that the heart is struggling and needs attention. A cardiologist once told me, by the time many of my senior patients arrive, they've been living with untreated heart issues for years. They just didn't know it. This truth lingers with you, because it reflects a painful reality. Awareness often comes too late. Your heart is an extraordinary organ, but it's also very vulnerable to the wear and tear of daily life. Poor diet, lack of movement, unmanaged stress, smoking, and high cholesterol slowly chip away at its strength. For seniors, even small lifestyle changes, like taking daily walks or cutting down on processed foods, can have a significant positive impact. But too often, these changes are delayed, and the damage becomes harder to reverse. Heart disease is a long game, one that plays out in the background until it suddenly becomes urgent. But here's the good news. Heart disease is one of the most preventable causes of death. When caught early and treated with care, we can extend the health of our hearts. Regular checkups, managing blood pressure, staying active, and keeping inflammation in check are essential, not just for preventing disease, but for preserving vitality as we age. With attention and consistency, seniors can support their cardiovascular health and maintain a strong, active life for as long as possible. Number 2. Cancer and late-stage diagnosis. The second leading cause of death in older adults is cancer, and while the word itself is heavy with emotion, the real danger often lies in something much quieter: late detection. Many cancers, particularly in the lungs, colon, prostate, and breasts, can be treated successfully when discovered early. But the problem is, the signs are often overlooked, especially in seniors who are already managing other health concerns. Symptoms like fatigue, weight loss, and digestive problems are often dismissed as just part of getting older. And in doing so, the disease continues to grow and spread. One oncologist shared, by the time many elderly patients are diagnosed with cancer, the tumor has already progressed beyond the early stages, not because they didn't care, but because they didn't know what to look for. That's the heartbreaking reality of cancer in seniors. It creeps in under the radar. Simple signs like a lingering cough, blood in the stool, or unexplained aches and pains often get brushed off, but they could be early indicators of something far more serious. If these signs are ignored for too long, treatment becomes more difficult. Many seniors hesitate to seek help, not because they don't care, but because they fear the worst, or simply hope that the symptoms will go away. But the truth is, knowledge, even uncomfortable knowledge, gives you a chance. Screenings like colonoscopies, mammograms, or chest X-rays are crucial, especially as we age, because they help us detect problems before they become advanced. And just as important as early detection is lifestyle. A diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and fiber, daily movement, and reducing exposure to harmful toxins like tobacco or alcohol can significantly reduce cancer risk. While these habits won't eliminate it entirely, they tilt the odds in our favor. Number 3. Respiratory disease and declining lung function. Another major cause of death in older adults, and one that often flies under the radar, is chronic respiratory disease. Conditions like chronic bronchitis, emphysema, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, gradually make breathing feel more labored. These diseases don't strike suddenly. They move slowly, limiting airflow and making each breath feel heavier. They don't just attack the lungs, they wear down the entire body over time, robbing people of energy, sleep, and the basic joy of moving freely without gasping for air. A pulmonologist once said, "By the time many seniors come in for testing, they've already lost half their lung capacity and didn't even know it. They thought they were just out of shape." This quote sticks with you because it speaks to how easily respiratory issues are overlooked. When an older adult feels winded after a short walk, they may chalk it up to age or just a bad day. What they may not realize is that their lungs have been under strain for years, often from past smoking, environmental exposure, or untreated inflammation. The symptoms begin quietly: a cough here, a wheeze there, some chest tightness in the morning. But the damage builds over time. By the time the signs are clear, breathing freely has already become a daily challenge. Ron, a 77-year-old retired construction worker from Tulsa, Oklahoma, never smoked but worked in environments with poor air quality for years. He often found himself winded just bringing in the groceries. He thought it was just age catching up with him. It wasn't until a visit to the doctor that he discovered the extent of his lung damage. "I thought quitting smoking years ago would be enough," Ron said. "But I didn't know the damage could keep growing." While you can't undo the damage to the lungs, there are still meaningful steps to improve quality of life. Medications, breathing therapies, and pulmonary rehab programs can help strengthen lung capacity. Avoiding exposure to smoke, cold air, and allergens is also key. Staying active within safe limits, like taking short walks, helps the lungs function better. Recognizing the signs early and not dismissing them as just old age is vital. Breathing freely shouldn't be a luxury, it's a birthright, and one we can protect, even in our later years. Number 4. Stroke and sudden neurological decline. When it comes to sudden life-altering events in older adults, few things strike with the speed and severity of a stroke. One moment, everything seems fine, and the next, the body betrays itself. Speech becomes slurred, limbs grow heavy, and the face begins to droop. While it might seem like it came out of nowhere, a stroke is usually the result of long-standing issues that have been quietly building in the background. High blood pressure, atrial fibrillation, clogged arteries, or even unmanaged diabetes can create the perfect storm for a clot or a bleed in the brain. A neurologist once said, "Strokes rarely give second chances. The window to act is short, and that's why prevention is everything." Those words aren't meant to scare, they're meant to awaken us, because with stroke, time is the enemy. The brain can only survive without oxygen for a few minutes before damage sets in. That's why recognizing early signs like sudden confusion, vision problems, numbness on one side, or dizziness is absolutely critical. The acronym FAST, face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call emergency services, has saved countless lives simply by helping people act quickly. But while response time matters, the deeper work lies in prevention. Stroke doesn't happen randomly. It's usually the end result of years of vascular strain, much of it preventable. Blood pressure that stays too high for too long begins to damage the delicate vessels in the brain. Irregular heart rhythms can throw clots into the bloodstream, and plaque buildup, the same kind that affects the heart, can block oxygen from reaching critical areas of the mind. Eugene, a 72-year-old retired firefighter from Richmond, Virginia, had ignored his high blood pressure for years, thinking a little salt in his food wasn't a big deal. But one morning, while preparing breakfast, he dropped his coffee cup and couldn't speak. His wife recognized the signs and got him to the hospital in time, but recovery was long. "If I had listened sooner," Eugene later said, "I might not have needed a walker." Stroke risk can be reduced by keeping blood pressure in check, taking prescribed medications, quitting smoking, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Number 5. Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. Finally, Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia are an increasingly common cause of death among older adults. These conditions don't strike quickly or with dramatic symptoms, but their impact is just as devastating. Alzheimer's begins with simple things like forgetting names, misplacing keys, or repeating a story you've already told. Slowly and quietly, it erodes the foundation of a person's life, memory, identity, and independence. Harold, an 84-year-old former math teacher from San Diego, used to love solving puzzles every morning. But one day, his wife noticed he'd put his shoes in the refrigerator. A week later, he forgot the way home from the grocery store. It wasn't until he could no longer remember the names of his grandchildren that they got a formal diagnosis. "It's like I'm losing him, one memory at a time," his daughter said. There's no known cure for Alzheimer's, but early detection, mental stimulation, healthy sleep, heart-healthy habits, and staying socially connected have all been shown to slow the progression of cognitive decline. Even things like learning a new hobby, walking in nature, or having meaningful conversations can help the brain build new connections, what researchers call cognitive reserve. A diet rich in leafy greens, berries, whole grains, and healthy fats can also play a role in protecting the brain. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on the 5 leading causes of death in older adults: heart disease, cancer, respiratory conditions, stroke, and Alzheimer's. These aren't just medical terms, they are stories. Stories of silent battles many of us have faced ourselves or witnessed in someone we love. But they also highlight what matters most: awareness, prevention, and the power of small, steady steps toward better health. What stood out to you the most today? Which of these areas do you feel more equipped to focus on moving forward? Maybe it's scheduling that overdue checkup, finally taking blood pressure seriously, or finding new ways to stay socially connected. Whatever it is, know this: your choices matter. It's never too late to prioritize your health and well-being. Your efforts still carry weight, and it's never too late to care for yourself in a deeper, more intentional way. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share what you learned today, and how you plan to bring it into practice in your own life. Your thoughts inspire us, and we value your participation in this conversation. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.